Ethan had always lived a quiet life, tucked away on the edge of Montana's endless plains. After losing his wife years ago, he found solace only in the rhythm of the ranch, the sound of hooves against dirt, and the harsh wind that swept over the open land. But even silence grew heavy when the days stretched long, and loneliness clawed at the edges of his spirit. That was when Clara appeared, a young woman from town who had taken on work at the ranch to help with chores. She arrived with shy eyes and an eagerness to please, her laughter sometimes filling the empty house with a sound Ethan hadn't realized he had missed. Clara wasn't just another worker. There was something fragile about her, as though she carried secrets too heavy for her small frame. She was married to a preacher whose voice thundered from the pulpit each Sunday, a man admired by many yet seen only briefly by her. He traveled constantly for his ministry, leaving her alone more often than not. At first, Ethan kept his distance, respecting her vows, but as weeks passed, he couldn't ignore the moments when her gaze lingered too long or when her smile seemed to tremble before fading. She carried a loneliness that mirrored his own. One late afternoon, Ethan noticed her by the old barn, wiping her eyes with the corner of her apron. He called out softly, not wanting to startle her, but when she turned, he caught the glisten of tears she quickly tried to hide. She muttered something about dust, about the sun in her eyes, yet her trembling hands betrayed her. He followed her line of sight and saw the old wooden chest tucked against the back wall, covered with a faded red cloth. The way she positioned herself in front of it, shielding it almost instinctively, stirred a curiosity in him. He wasn't the type to pry into others' business, but the way her body stiffened, the way fear flickered across her face, made it impossible to ignore. When he asked lightly if everything was all right, she shook her head and whispered, barely audible, "Please don't take the cloth off." Her words struck deeper than he expected. They weren't just about an object. They were about something buried, something she couldn't bear to face. Ethan stood there, stunned by the desperation in her voice, and though he didn't press her further, the image of that chest, draped in cloth like a wound poorly hidden, stayed in his mind long after he walked away. In the days that followed, he tried to brush it off, tried to bury the thought under work and routine, but Clara's presence kept pulling him back. Each time she thanked him for helping with the heavier chores, each time their hands brushed while setting the table, each time